Street in Manlius, New York. So happy to be here with you. You know that Cafe Kubal is our exclusive studio partner, which means that we work with all locations: 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, 343 Fayette Street, where we are today in Manlius, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse, to their drive-through location. We are here today, as we always are, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with Dolphin Time. And every second and fourth Wednesday of each month, we bring you the Dolphin Dive. Well, I decided instead of doing the Dolphin Dive for a little bit, we're having a Dolphin Takeover. So these two are taking over my show. Belal Aly, Caitlyn Longway, myself, Dan Tortora, hanging out with you where sports meets life. The Moyne Dolphins men's and women's swimming and diving team. Not only are they with me today, but it's right before the NE10 championships, and you're leaving today. So we are officially the jump off to the postseason. Welcome. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today. Of course, we're going to talk about swimming and diving, Moyne, the community, and we will be talking about some other things inside of Rapid Fire. We're going to put each other on the hot seat. So we're going to have some fun here at Cafe Kubal. So come out here, grab your coffee, tea, sit, relax, and have a good time. Belal, I'm going to start with you.
Alrighty.
I said of the over 3,500 guests I've had on the show, never had a Belal before. So
Yes.
I want to know where the name came from. Is there a history behind the name?
So I'm originally from Egypt, and the name is Arabic.
Yep.
The history behind the name is there's back in year 500 when it's kind of like religious. So when Islam came down, there was this one dude who can do the prayer call, and his voice was really nice. His name was Belal, and my dad named me the same name.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
because he had the right voice for the prayer call, like
Yeah.
something special and unique, that's where you got it from.
Yep.
So it's rooted in prayer, it's rooted in history, it's rooted in the country. Pretty special.
It's rooted in the history of Islam. The country, not really, because there's so
Because it's
many
different,
so many Arabic countries out there. But yes.
But
it's
to
pretty
have
well known.
to have that, do you have a strong faith? Do you have a connection?
Yes, I do. I tend to be pretty religious, and yeah, I pray before races 5 times a day and all that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
thank you.
amazing. We're going to come back to that. Caitlyn, you have a name that people know, however, it's spelled differently. So, as Belal is my first Belal on the show, you are my first Caitlyn on the broadcast. So, Mom did it on purpose.
Yes, my mom did spell my name like this on purpose. We already have a Katie in the family, so she did not want my name to be shortened to Katie. And she also didn't really want it to be shortened to Kate, so that's why she chose the spelling of Caitlyn. And unfortunately for her, the swim team does call me Kate. A lot of people call me Kate in my life, so she didn't quite get away with that one, but to her, I am Caitlyn.
So, for you, is there a history behind that at all? Is there a history behind why she chose that name?
Honestly, no. She just liked the sound of it, I'm going to be honest.
Yes. Well, because I asked my parents, I said, okay, where did I get Daniel from? And my dad is Ralph III, and my mom was like, we're not doing Ralph IV. That's not going to happen. And I'm proud of that. I'm happy with that. I don't want to be Ralph IV. So I got my dad and my grandfather's middle name, Daniel, and then I said, where did Michael come from? Both of my parents said, sounded good.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of thing, right? They like the sound of it, and that's it. So with your names that you were given at birth, do you have nicknames on the swim team?
I do.
You do?
I do have a nickname. It's a little odd.
Okay.
It is Tater,
Tater.
as in like a tater tot.
Okay.
It has no correlation to tater tots, though. It's just my friend Maddie Zapizek on the team. She one day started calling me Cater Tater,
Okay.
and then it got shortened to Tater, and now for some reason, a lot of people on the team have adopted the Tater name.
Okay.
And we don't really know where it came from, why it happened. It's just a thing now.
It's just a thing. So you're Tater on the team.
I am Tater.
All right. Do you like it? Dislike it? Does it matter? Do you care?
know, I kind of like it just because Caitlyn's one of those names that doesn't really get any fun nicknames. Like everyone knows Kate, Katie, but I don't know, it doesn't really get shortened too often for me, so I like having my own nickname.
So you like having Tater.
I don't mind Tater, I'll be honest.
Belal, do you have one?
Yes, I do. So my nickname on the team is Mr. Bozo.
Mr. Bozo.
Mr. Bozo.
Okay. And
Yeah.
why is that?
So my nickname has always been Ozo.
Okay.
It comes from like my dad used it as his like gamer tag when he like was on Atari or whatever.
Okay.
And it was like Belal Ozo for like my Snapchat and everything else. And my teammates saw that and they were like, well, let's take the B and put it next to the Ozo and put a Mr. there. So it's Mr. Bozo.
So you're Mr. Bozo, but you said your dad is a gamer? Is he still a gamer or no?
Well, no, back in the day, you know, with like Super Mario,
Yeah.
like, and when it first came out.
But your dad is into gaming.
Yeah, he is.
So bring me into that. Like that's something that you guys share. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. So I tend to like game on my laptop. He used to game on like I think the N64 or something he had like back in the day. I'm not really sure because it's like past like way in the past, but
Making your dad sound old.
Yeah, he is old.
So you said Atari?
Yeah, he used to play Atari a lot.
Okay. So that's pretty, you know, I mean, listen, really any time you get to start is a good time. I remember, so I'm going to sound like I'm 115 years old, but let me just go with this for a second. I'm not that old, but this sounds old. So I was in elementary school and we had this computer. We had one computer. I think we might have had two, but there was the one that had all the games on it. So we would play Arkanoid, which was the block breaker game where you just move the thing back and forth and the ball bounces and you try to like block and you get lasers and stuff. So we had that game and we had Dino Park Tycoon where you would literally have to gain money through different ways, buy eggs, hatch the eggs, and then put the dinosaurs in different parts of your park, and then like the T-Rex would get out and you'd have to build it like so you couldn't be cheap on anything because you would like build for the T-Rex. You finally get the T-Rex and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna put like a basic fence in because I want to save some money, and the T-Rex would break out and then you'd have to repair it before it ate people. And so you know, when you would get the T-Rex, everybody's like, I made it. Like that was the big thing to do. And then we had Oregon Trail, and I would always I stopped creating my name because I kept dying of like horrendously ridiculous diseases. Like we would be in the middle of the water on the raft because you take everything. I don't know where the ox went at this part, but you'd have to cross the river. And so you start to cross the river and you're just watching it, praying that like it's just loading and that it's not going to stop, because you'd get to like the middle of the river and it's like Daniel has died from dysentery, and I was like, what, in the middle of the river? So like not only did I die but I drowned. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But normally toward the end you would hope to get like 2 people to the end and you'd have to shoot animals to eat. Like you had to do all these things just to like survive. It was a really cool game except for the diseases. And then there was one game where I'm like, all right, I'm good, and then I like broke my leg, and then I broke my other leg, and then I got some like rash, and then I lost an eye, you know what I mean? And then you're like, at this point I feel like this is personal with the video game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we would all kind of fight for time in this one computer. And now, you know, you can have anything you want at home and play your game. So do you have a go-to?
I tend to play on my laptop a lot.
Okay.
But actually what sounds similar to your game is this thing on VR right now, Oculus 2, called Bone Labs.
Okay.
Where it's like totally physics-based, and you get to like do Spider-Man stuff and like actually like hit entities with like your fists and stuff. And it's like very immersive. But if you fall from like a high place, yeah, your player actually can't go as fast because they broke their ankle. Or like, yeah, if you like fall in game, you can't really use your arm because you broke it and stuff. So, you know, the evolution is there.
That's pretty
for gaming,
cool.
Yeah.
So you said you could do like Spider-Man stuff.
You can, and it's very trippy.
That's awesome. See, I have this desire since I was a little kid to be Spider-Man for like a day. And even if it was just a day, so every once in a while, You might catch me do this on campus, but if I'm out somewhere and I get that feeling, I'll just go like this. I'll just do it once, and I'm like, one day I want to see a web just shoot out, and me to go, today's the day. But I would love the opportunity. I was in a Spider-Man movie, though. An actual Spider-Man movie.
Wait,
Which
really?
one?
Yeah, so I was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield. They shot part of it in Rochester, and for a week there was like 200 extras, and I just went to, I've acted before, I wanted to give it a shot. I went down, and we got to do all these different things. In the Paul Giamatti scene, it's about 13 minutes in, Paul Giamatti becomes the Rhino, and he's driving an 18-wheeler, and all of these NYPD cars crash into him in this chase because he just stops abruptly, and they're like on top of each other. We shot all these angles of it, and I'm going to tell you the angles we shot, and then I want you to guess the one that they used. Because I'm in it, you can see me in the movie, but I want you to guess which one. So there's one where there's 5 guys, I'm one of the guys, and I got to wear my own clothes because I listened to what they said, and I brought like a wardrobe, and they said, this is what we want you to wear. If you're not wearing what we want you to wear, we'll give you something. So I got to wear like my own stuff from the house. There's a scene where you walk out of the alley, we walk straight down, so there's all the crash, the cars hit, we walk out of the alley, and we look down the thing to say like what's going on. That's one scene we did. Another scene we did, I was told, this girl is your girlfriend, treat her as such, you have to protect her. So there was this girl, she was short and maybe like 5 foot, and they said to me like just cover her from the gunshots because they were shooting this way. And I said no. I was like, if this was my actual girlfriend and I was going to save her life, I'm going to shield her with my body. And so I ran. I said, you got to trust me. I said, just trust me and let me guide you, because she couldn't really see. So they yelled action, and she came into my chest. I went over her, and we were running sideways. And as we're running, I improvised because I didn't realize we were running into a parking lot that had the guard down. So I like pushed her under, and I covered her, and we went under the thing together seamlessly. They stopped me. They're like, that was a great job. We're like, where did you get the thought to do that? I was like, well, if I'm protecting my girlfriend, I have to get her out of harm's way, and if there's obstructions, we got to work around it. So there's that scene. Then there's one where I'm buying something. I'm like buying a Sprite, and I walk up, and then I kind of just walk, and then I fade back. Then there's a scene where, so this is all the same chase, but these are angles, where they told us the 18-wheeler is going to come around the corner, and there's going to be all these NYPD cars. You're not going to hear the sirens. We're going to add those in post. Okay. So you have to react. Now, the problem with having extras is some people have common sense, and some people are stupid. And stupid to a point where you go, how did you get here this morning? So there's the idiocy of them going, okay, guys, when we yell action, the cars are going to come and the sirens are going to be blaring. Put your hands on your ears or do something to let people know it's loud. They yelled action. I put my hands on my ears. Maybe one of the other guys went this for a second, like he swatted a bug. Everybody's like, you know. So I'm like, well, they're not going to use this take. So they tell us, I'm in the front. The camera's right here. I'm the first person on the street. This would have been a perfect shot. Right here, camera, I could yell, hi, Mom, go. So they say 18-wheeler's going to hook around the corner. They're going to hit 2 cars on the other side of the street. Those cars are going to roll. They tell you these things, and you think it's normal. Then you realize when they yell action and it hits the cars, you could get hit by a car. Because you have to, because the 18-wheeler is hitting a car, and they're making it sound orchestrated, but the car can go wherever it wants to go. So my friend's on the other side of the street. The car that it hits starts flying toward them, so they're supposed to just walk forward, see the car, and be like, oh my gosh. Well, the car started coming toward them, so they had to turn around and book it. So I'm on the other side. He goes, the 18-wheeler's going to hook. It's going to almost hit you. You got to be like, oh my God, this is nuts, and run. Well, guess what? The 18-wheeler almost hit me for real. And as it's coming around, because we would do multiple takes, so sometimes he hooks it, nowhere near me. He comes around, I go to the end. The second director on the set, so not the main director, he's there. The main guy for the extras is there, and they're right behind the camera. So it's them, camera, me, 18-wheeler. It comes in. I'm like, okay, I'm going through my thing. Walk, look. Oh my God, it's so loud. Jump off the curb, walk off to the side, go behind the camera. Well, I acted it out as if I was going to die because I almost did. And the guy, so I come around the corner, the car almost hits me. I go, oh my God, and I jump and I run. The guy that's handling the extras grabs me. And if he said nothing to you, you did a good job. If he said good job, it was a great job. He grabbed me and he goes, right behind the second director, he goes, good job. And I was like, thinking in my head, I'm not going to tell him that I thought I was going to die. I want to be like, this is just me acting. I was acting to save my life. So, of those 4 scenes, which one do you think they took?
The good job part sounded convincing because you went into like a lot of detail, and I feel like they would have taken that part.
You thought that one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What'd you think?
See, I'm taking a more, I don't know, I feel like because you went to such extent to describe these scenarios, I feel like it's got to be like the Sprite scene or something.
So I'm going to show you the scene. This is the scene. And you can hopefully you'll figure out which one it is. So, yell action.
Action.
That was the scene they took.
That's it?
With the first one walking out, looking down the street as to what happened. But you can clearly see me. And I was like, I risked my life. I saved people. There was one I didn't tell you about where a woman, I turned and we were right by the shooter. And I'm blocking her. And I'm like, if they use this take, I'm dead. I got shot like 19 times in my back if they took that one. They didn't take that one. And I actually screamed, this is hilarious. I know that I'm dead in this scene. And so, but the thing is they can't take scenes when one person's an idiot. Mm-hmm. Like if anybody does something stupid. So they said to us, don't speak. You're in a non-speaking role. So you can say like, oh my gosh, you can mouth it, whatever, but don't speak. There was a woman in one of the scenes where I was supposed to run up and run back, and she was making these crazy noises. She was like, oh, what in the heavens? And she was like making these really stupid sounds. And then like I think somebody yelled out the F word, and I'm like, dude, like nothing is gonna be taken here.
Yeah.
And then one scene, the good job scene, if anybody else all the way down that line put their hands on their ears or acted anything that they told them to do, like if you do nothing else, put your hands on your ears. And I did it. If anybody else had done it, maybe I would have got that like in your face, what's up mom scene. But you can see it. It's just my tour de force is me walking down the street and looking to my right.
Wow.
So with
That's disappointing.
So with that being said, there'll be more. That's the beginning.
Okay.
So Caitlyn, is there anything that you have done that people maybe don't know? Like anything special in your life outside of swimming and diving that maybe Belal doesn't know, your team doesn't know, something cool that maybe you did?
Probably a thing that I've done in the past, which I thought was pretty cool that maybe not so many people know, is that I was a coach within the Special Olympic team for swimming.
Very cool.
So that was quite a rewarding experience for me, and I don't know, I think I want to go into healthcare personally.
Okay.
So that kind of helped me see maybe a disserviced group of people that maybe people don't know as much about, and really just get to work with them, get through, and like just help them do what they love. I mean, it was so much fun just being able to get into the water with them. And I know most swimmers, like you would guess, oh, they're probably part-time coaches, swim instructors, something along those lines, but not many people know that I was actually a coach for our area's Special Olympics team.
And that's awesome.
Very fun.
I'm gonna give you that, because that to me, I grew up a couple like right around the corner from where my dad's still in the house, my mom's down the road now, but right there was a house for people with special needs. Mm-hmm. And they would, every day in elementary school, our bus would come to the corner, and some of them would come outside, and one of the guys would wave to us every day. And it was such a rewarding, during the pandemic, all these years had gone by, and I was in Wegmans, and I walked down the aisle, and I was just, looking for food and trying to figure out what I wanted for dinner, whatever. And I walked down, and I turned, and one of the guys from the house was there, and I was just so elated I was like, he probably doesn't remember me, but everything inside of me wanted to hug him and be like, I'm just so happy you're here. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know who worked in that house or what, how, if it's even still going right now, but there was so many wonderful people I met from that house that would just kind of walk around our community and say hi and, like come watch you play basketball. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Thanks for doing that.
Oh, yeah, and we do something similar on Moyne too. We do a program called Advocates, so very similar type of thing where the team just gets in the water with same idea, people with intellectual disabilities. And I know the men's team, I don't know if Belal was included in it, but I know they went to one of the boys' house and they had like a sleepover with 5 of them, I want to say, and they were they're genuine friends. I know I follow some of them on Instagram. They'll comment on my posts, they'll comment on theirs. It's just actual friendships being able to be formed that is so great because swimming is so consuming. Kind of you get in the same niche of people a lot. Yeah. So being able to see the rest of the Syracuse community really is eye-opening.
Yeah, and to help and pay it forward in that respect, I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And I think we all need to find a way to do that. And I think, people say, well, how do you do it in your daily life? I mean, it's as simple as opening a door. I think I held the door open for somebody yesterday, and it was a couple, and they're looking at me, and then I have the door open, and the lady looks inside like, oh, were you holding it for someone coming out? And then she looks at me, and she's like, oh, thank you. And the guy was like, that was very nice of you. And I was like, has no one held the door for you before?
Yeah, so, what the heck?
So tough to act to follow. Give me an act of kindness that you're proud of.
So I have always been trying to help the poverty back in Egypt. As you might know, the currency from Egyptian pounds to American dollars is different. For $1, I think right now it's 30 Egyptian pounds, and people are going out of business. People can't feed their children and all. So what me and my family do is we have a little box, and whenever someone wants to kind of donate, we put in it, and then at the end of the month my dad just puts it all in his bank account and sends it over to his friends over there that know the people who actually need the money, and he gives them to charities. And he actually knows a specific orphanage that we used to visit, and we give money to them to host the kids and make them feel home.
So tough act to follow. Followed it well. So I mean, that's and how old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
I'm 19.
19. 22 and 19, folks. So why I ask that? Because 2 things. Your generation doesn't get the credit of caring, right? There's this stereotype of the younger you are, the less you care because technology and whatever. So obviously that's not true. Second, it doesn't matter how old you are or where you are in the world to help somebody and do something. So 2 incredible stories. Thank you for that. Truly, thank you for helping the way that you help, because that's what it takes. You change somebody's life by getting in a pool and spending time with them. You change somebody's life by dropping something in the box and saying, you know what? Yeah, I want that $5, right? I want that $20 or whatever. But you know what, Dad? Send it somewhere else. And then you find out that orphanage now can take care of another kid. Yeah. So it has to be rewarding to know that what you've done, that you're not seeking to get anything but help people. And I think that goes a long way. So I'm very moved this morning. I feel like I should sit here in silence for a minute, but have you been back to Egypt?
I have not, no. Ever since I moved here 5 years ago, never been back.
So what was life like 5 years ago? How would you describe it? I know you talked about the currency and all that and the poverty, but to someone who's never been there, how would you describe Egypt?
So it's not all desert, I can tell you that.
Yeah, people think desert and pyramids.
Yeah, pyramids, camels, and like, pythons coming out of the box. And, no, it's not just that. So I'm from Cairo,
Okay.
the capital, and life there is actually like the community is really nice. So buildings are not spaced out like you can see out there. They're more like kind of like almost like downtown where like they're stuck together, and there are like little alleyways that like me and the neighbor, like the neighbors just go down there and like play with little marbles, and like we play with like cats that are just roaming around the neighborhood, and like some of them just adopted dogs and like they just feed them every day, but they don't live inside their houses.
Yeah.
So it's just the community is very different. It was a cultural shock to come here and see like snow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. What did you do when you saw snow for the first time? Because now you've seen it for like the 315th time. So.
Yeah. So I landed in JFK. I step outside. I see snow. It was a blizzard or something. So I just, without gloves or anything, grab a bunch of it and just start eating it off the curb. But like, I didn't know it wasn't like good to eat snow.
In New York City.
In New York City.
So
I didn't
you
know.
ate something off the curb and you're still alive.
I'm still alive.
You're still so
yeah.
folks, those of you that tend to lick the subway, you could live through it.
Yes.
I like it. Okay. So you ate the snow. Which, by the way,
I ate snow.
you can, when it first falls and it's like totally pure and everything, it's just like ice. You can eat it.
It was that, yeah. It was like fresh snow. But yeah, no, and then I started throwing it at my brother, and then like it was so cold, my fingers froze, and I just didn't know that was a thing, I always see it on TV, but never actually felt it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was incredible. It was a new experience.
So, have you ever dealt with dry ice before?
No.
Okay. So, have you?
Yes.
You have? Okay. So, dry ice, first time I ever experienced, I worked at Disney. I worked at Walt Disney World. So, because it was so hot, in order to keep our drinks cold, backstage, we would have to, there was a dry ice machine, and you'd have to, take, the soda and the water and all that, and put dry ice in it to keep it cold. Now, it's so hot in Florida that you'll put the dry ice in, and while you're pushing the cart out, it could be almost completely gone by the time you get to where you're going. So me, being the person that I am, I was like, wait a minute, because dry ice makes the smoke. I didn't know that they use dry ice, the dry ice machine in music videos. So I threw it down and it made all this smoke. So I was doing boy band videos, and they walk out, Backstreet Boy, they throw it down and you go like that. So we're doing all this stuff in the back. I was like, wow, this is so cool. I can carry it around with me, throw it anywhere, and it looks like I'm like the genie from Aladdin popping out. So I put it in my hands. Well, dry ice, unlike snow, which will make you feel cold and could burn at times, dry ice will burn almost immediately. So it's ice, but it's ice made by man, and it hurts like heck. And I had it in my hand, and I quickly learned that dry ice is also very, very dangerously burning to your body. So, how did you deal with dry ice?
Since I'm very much into science,
Okay.
of course, in, let's say, high school chemistry, they always did the dry ice trick. I believe it was probably Halloween time. My teacher put it into a pumpkin, and the pumpkin would just kind of ooze out the little smoke.
Yeah.
But I haven't had much experience with it in college, but I am aware that you're not really supposed to touch it without any gloves on.
No. And the thing is and I had it in my hand, and I think somebody was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, it's dry ice. I'm doing music. And I'd throw it down, and it would just make all the smoke. And I was just having a ball out there. They're like, you're not supposed to hold it. I was like, what? It's fine. And I just had it in my hand like this, and it's just sitting there. And then you feel this burning sensation of it. So yeah, dry ice, really cool for music video purposes, but you probably shouldn't hold it. We had a thing that would just spray it, and now I understand why it was meant to do that. So we've talked about a lot of things. I want to jump in the pool here and talk about Lemoyne. Caitlyn, first, what made you come to Lemoyne? Why was this the right fit?
There were a lot of factors deciding why I went to Moyne. In my college search, I was looking all around pretty much the central New York area. I didn't want to go too far away, so of course Lemoyne is only about an hour from my own house. So
And where was that? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Utica area,
Okay.
in a little town, Sequoia, New York. Very farm, very rural area, but so I liked that factor about Lemoyne because obviously I don't want to leave home too much. And then I met our previous head coach, Johanna, and he was such an eclectic character. I've told him this, that I call him eclectic to everyone, and I can't think of a better word to describe that man. You know, I'm sitting out there waiting for my official coach swimmer meeting, and I'm just a senior in high school. I'm not too used to meeting new people at this point in my life, and he walks out drenched in sweat. He takes off his shirt. He wrings out the sweat. And my mom and I are looking at him like, who is this guy? Like, and I guess I'm just drawn to those eclectic people because I thought it was hilarious. And Joe was one of my major deciding factors, honestly, why I chose this school, because I just connected with him personality-wise so well. And another big thing, before I switched to my physician assistant route, I wanted to do nursing. And nursing is famously a very tough major to coincide with a sport.
Yeah.
Lemoyne, I was able to do both, and so that obviously took some precedent over some of the other competing schools because it's just nursing, they have so much clinical time, they have odd hours, their class times usually aren't the same as a normal student on campus, so being able to swim and do that, I enjoyed that. And then also, I'd say Lemoyne just being a D2 smaller school, I think I really connected with the sense that I wanted to be a student as well as an athlete as well as have a social life. I know some programs that are huge and just crazy good programs, D1 programs, swimming would be my life.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want that. I wanted to connect with my peers. I wanted to connect with my professors. And Lemoyne for me was really just the full package of everything.
And it's interesting that you talked about being a student athlete at Lemoyne and nursing, because there are a lot of nursing majors that somehow pull it off. Mm-hmm. And I remember I spoke with Maddie Shea from the soccer team a couple of years ago, and it was one of the first Dolphin Dives that we did, and she was talking about it, and I said, how are you a student athlete and training to do that? But Lemoyne has found a way to kind of balance it, and there's a lot of different athletes that I've met within Lemoyne where they're like, yeah, this is what we do, and they allow us to do this with their schedule and work it around. And you know, I credit Lemoyne with a lot of things, especially finding a way to be very unique in how they could schedule everything. Belal, Egypt, Lemoyne, how did that happen?
So I moved here in my freshman year of high school, and I've always been swimming. I started swimming when I was 5, and I just wanted to take that to like the next level. Hopefully after college I'll do that. But during high school, I swam varsity for Syracuse, and I was pretty well known for the swimming stuff. And I had a friend. He's actually on the Lemoyne team. His name is Ryan McMahon. He was my senior year. He's a year older. My senior year, he was telling me, "Hey, why don't you look at Lemoyne, join my team, where we can swim together and stuff." And I was like, "Man, I don't know. It's a D2 school. I want a D1 school. Like I'm like, okay, I want swimming to be my life, you know." So I looked into it. They had the physics program, which is what I'm in right now. I originally wanted to be an engineer, but I thought, hey, close enough. That's actually close to like where I live. So I applied. I got in, and first time meeting Coach Hannah was also straight out of the gym. He was drenched in sweat. His hands were like super sweaty. I shook his hands, and it was just like a fun conversation we had at first. But that was me after like committing and all that. But yeah, no, Lemoyne was very close to home. They offered me good academic money. Swim money came later on. Yeah. But yeah.
So basically, what I've learned is Lemoyne not only is a very unique place and a special place, but if you want to get a recruit to come on campus and commit to you, you have to be sweaty. And, you know, I mean, listen, Coach Hannah, both times,
Yep.
drenched in sweat, shirts all drenched, you know, take the shirt off, wring it out, shake a hand. That's how it's done. So, Coach Zukowski, does he greet recruits sweaty?
Can't say that he does, you know.
Okay.
He takes a more normal approach, you know.
Okay.
He'll be wearing the dress shirt or maybe a polo.
Yeah.
He looks very nice.
He's
Visually
always
striking.
Yeah, he's always dressed. Whenever we're doing anything together, he's always suited up. He's ready to go. And so that's how he greets.
Yeah.
So the juxtaposition between take the shirt off, wring it out, sweating like crazy to a suit is, I mean, I don't know if you could get more distant than that, but they both work. I mean, Coach Zukowski now, I mean, he's done a great job in recruiting all over the world, and Coach Hannah is known for his history with swimming and diving. So I find that really funny that both of your stories have to do with a sweaty Coach Hannah.
That's usually his natural state at
Yeah.
Moyne. It's rare to see him not sweaty, honestly.
Well, and I guess, like, if that's your first impression, you always think, like, this person must work really hard,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
He must give it up. Because some people are like, you know, anybody can say they're going to do something, but when you see that, you're like, all right, well, obviously he came from something that he gave a lot of effort into. And if he's going to give that, then hopefully you give it. So I love how you're like, I still remember how sweaty his hands were.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty interesting here. Coach Hannah, shout out to you and to Coach Zukowski. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are inside of Cafe Kubal on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and we are here with a Dolphin Dive Takeover featuring Belal Aly and Caitlyn Longway, myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT. We'll be back right after this, where sports meets life.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience.
Welcome back here inside of Cafe Kubal. You know that Wake Up Call comes to you inside the Cafe Kubal studios every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And every single month, we also find our way to your Cafe Kubals in your community. We are on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, today with our Dolphin Dive Takeover. You know, Dolphin Time is every Wednesday at 9 a.m. exclusively on Wake Up Call. And first and third Wednesday of each month, we have AD&D Tea with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth, we have student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni in Dolphin Dive. But these two decided to take over my show. No, I asked them to do it. So we are here today, a trio on your screen all around the world, youtube.com and facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. And you mentioned Meatloaf, your teammate, before the show. Meatloaf, if it is you on YouTube with a cat picture, which typically looks like a spammer, it says NTK and there's a picture of a cat, and from what I could recognize, the cat looked like it was vicious. So here's my thing. You sent us 50 messages. I can't understand most of them, and I don't think they were all in English, but if it is you, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. And I'm sorry that I deleted your messages on YouTube because I thought it was spam. Does he typically spam things? Is he on Twitch spamming you?
Well, Meatloaf would be the type of guy that would spam.
Okay, all right. I mean, he looked like the typical, bot. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
He's a fun guy. He likes to have his fun.
He likes to have his fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So, describe Meatloaf in 3 words. You're getting a shameless plug after spamming the account. Enjoy it, Meatloaf.
He's clutch. He's had like some races where he just came back out of nowhere.
All right, he's clutch.
Funny.
Funny.
And short.
And short.
Yes.
Okay, well, what would you use to describe
Oh
him?
boy. I don't know. I feel like he's a little spontaneous, such as those comments.
Yeah.
He's funky. I like that word.
Okay.
I would describe him as funky.
Funky. I like it.
And I would agree that he's, I don't know if clutch is the word that I would use. I'm trying to think of another word. Maybe reliable.
Okay.
In the races. Meatloaf has a mean 200 butterfly.
Okay.
He's come through a lot at our dual meets, so.
Do I have any reason to be concerned of his spamming now of the YouTube account? Is the question.
50-50 shot.
50-50 shot. I mean, typically when you see no full name and a picture of a cat, it's cause for concern. But, yeah. So shout out to you, Meatloaf. If it is you, welcome. If it's not you, I stay equally terrified. I think I do. So jumping into the fact that you will be leaving today to go to the NE10 championship. So I literally get to have the official conversation going into the postseason. Thank you for letting me do that. Thank you, Coach, for letting me do this. How are your jitters? Do you feel it? Caitlyn, do you get it before?
Yes, I am a very nervous, anxious swimmer.
Okay.
I feel a lot of pressure. Not so much, not that my teammates or my coaches put it on me, but I more so just put it on myself.
Okay.
There's a lot of goals that I hope to achieve at this NE10s, personal goals, team goals, I think we've all worked so hard this season, so I'm very confident it's going to pay off for us, and I'm excited. I think this NE10s in particular, I am of course very nervous, but in equal parts I'm excited to see how this season's going to work out for everyone, because I think pretty much every girl and boy on this team is set up for success going into this.
From the start of the season to now, where have you seen the team improve the most?
I think our team has improved a lot in just ability to go through and just have grit. I know in high school my coach talked a lot about the word grit, of just being able to put your head down, do the work, don't complain, just keep going, trust the process. And our team this season, admittedly with Adam as our new head coach, has had quite a bit of change. One of the biggest ones and hardest ones for me personally was the morning practices every single day. with Coach Joe, I swam 2 to 4 p.m., 4 to 6 p.m. pretty much every day. I was awake. I had meals in me. Now we would swim from 6:15 to 8:15 every day of the week. And to not just me, to most people on the team, that is a shock to the system, to say the least. And at first, I will admit, it was a learning curve for myself and others included, but as we kept going through the season, we just kind of all learned to put our heads down and trust that it's going to pay off in the end. We might not see the results within a week or 2 weeks, but by this weekend, especially now, I think everyone's feeling pretty confident that this has paid off for us.
I love that, and I appreciate the description of it, because we will talk about the early morning swim, because Adam and I have spoken. I don't think he sleeps either, but we'll discuss. So, Belal, for you, as we step into the postseason here, what are your thoughts about where the team is at? But first, just like with Caitlyn, how do you get before? Do you get jittery? Do you get calm? Because people ask me that. They're like, when you're about to go on the air, do you get nervous? And I call it the 4 steps. Is that like going on a stage? It's like, okay, you feel those jitters, a little nervy, right? You feel that like something in your throat maybe. I feel like that. Oh my God. But I don't get, it's not scared. Kind of feel it here. And I'm like, I do 1, 2, 3, 4 step. You put the mic in my hand, it's gone. It was like sweat, gone. Nothing. So do you get that? Do you get that like amped up, oh my gosh, or are you very mellow?
Yeah, I get it like a lot, and especially with the expectation of winning races and like having to do good, because you've worked for so long and you're trying to actually like have all that work pay off. How I deal with it is there's like I visualize, and I swim the race in my head about 1,000 times before I actually perform, just to like actually go through the motions, the view, how my start is gonna be, how my turns are gonna be, not really comparing myself to any of the other people, because other people put in the work as well, and it's you versus them, but in the visualization it's just me. And I think that's the key for swimming, especially my event. It's the 200 free. You don't really need to go all out in the beginning. That's what I did last year at any 10s. Didn't really do it that well. Learned the hard way. But you kind of die at the end. When I started visualizing, you kind of like swim your own thing. People are going to be ahead of you at first, but because you divided your energy and visualized and know how the race is going to go, you know what to do and you're going to get them eventually.
Where's the team now as opposed to where they were? You heard what Caitlyn had to say about the shifting in practice and all that, but how would you describe how this team was back in the beginning and how you've come together now?
So in the beginning, not everyone liked the idea of morning practices, like for anyone really saying, hey, you're going to wake up 5 days a week, 6:15 in the morning, get in the cold water. It was not like something that people would look forward to. But as time went on, as people were pushing each other as a team and having a little fun here and there, the people were able to perform well. And we were able to see that in the Ithaca mid-season championships. People did awesome, and from that point on, people realized, that may be the right thing, and we're going to keep pushing with that until the very end.
Did y'all swim this morning? You did, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And because I believe Coach said something about, Coach, I want to make sure I read your words specifically here correctly. So this is what Coach said. Let me see here. He said, where is it? 5 a.m. practice because of our travel schedule. These Moyne swimming and diving. He said that the team doesn't mind. They dive right in and heading to the Northeast 10 today. So I saw this message before I left to come to the show that y'all were up at 5 a.m. today?
I was up around 5:30.
Okay.
He made the 5 a.m. accommodations for those nursing students, like we were talking about with
Yes.
their tough schedules. The team had to choose from 5 a.m., 6:15, or 7:15.
Okay.
So everyone was up still pretty early in the morning. I was in the water probably around 5:45 because I wanted my hair to be dry for this interview. So I wanted to get it out of the way.
Understood. So you said it took a while to kind of get used to it, right?
Yes.
How is your body now? Like, do you feel, if you ever have like an off day or anything like that, do you feel weird if you sleep till like 8 or anything? Or do you love to sleep that late? Because, I mean, there's people that can't, their body just gets wired and that's how they are. And then there's people like me where they're like, if I ever have time where I could sleep in, and they're like, what do you sleep into? And you get judged, they're like, sleeping in is like 8. I was like, no, sleeping in is like 10 to noon.
Yeah.
That is sleeping in. And I said, I was like, there's a line in Avengers where Hulk says, you want to know my secret? He says, I'm always angry. And then he turns into the Hulk. I said, you want to know my secret? I'm always tired.
Yeah.
So I can sleep at any time. And so how is your body wired? I'll start with you, Belal. Like, when you get the time off, are you like, baby, give me noon? Or are you up at 7 o'clock?
So I tend to like stay up a lot.
Okay.
Working on labs and fun physics stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have to stay up a lot to like do all those assignments and labs before they're due.
Yeah.
So I don't really normally get like a good amount of sleep every day. Off days are the best, so then I can sleep to like 9.
Okay.
You know,
Nine's
nine
all right.
is good. 9
We
is good.
accept 9?
Yeah.
She doesn't accept 9.
Well, compared to
Still a little
6:15, I'll
early.
take 9.
Yeah. No, it's definitely,
Yeah.
it's not bad, but if you're staying up late, and I'm catching your drift here because you're talking about staying up late doing your labs and all that. I know you're gaming too sometimes because I feel that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would like to think after 19 years of doing this thing, I can read the room. But, so you're going to bed at like 2 or 3.
No, my max is 12.
Okay, good. I was going to say, because sometimes, you know, you get into like the homework and the gaming and it gets really late. So you cut it off at midnight
Yep.
and then you're to the pool for 6:15.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's it. Gives you enough. My 10 a.m. to nooner.
Let's just say my body has never adjusted to this.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, Adam, if you're listening to this, I am sorry, but it is not. You know, I do force myself up out of bed every day, but the second I do get an off day, I will be sleeping until noon, 12:30. You know, just this past weekend, I was supposed to go get coffee with my friends, and we said 11:30, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna need to set an alarm for 11:30. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, I'm gonna naturally wake up. Wrong. I wake up, I look at my watch, it's 12:40. I said, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, this was my bad. Let's make it lunch.
Did anybody call you?
You know, my phone gets silenced, and
Okay.
I've kind of built a reputation amongst myself as well that if I'm not responding, they know that I am sleeping.
Yeah.
I know when our training trip, actually, we unfortunately had our training trip get canceled this year due to all the Southwest issues during that period of time. And Adam had called a meeting late the night before saying it was, meeting at 9:30 a.m., mandatory, talk about training trip. I didn't see the original message, and I was not awake for the meeting. So I wake up at 11 to 200 messages in the swimming group chat, people going on and on and on. And I'm like, what the heck is going on in here? You know, I'm not sure what I missed. And then I scroll up and people are talking about me. They're like, Caitlyn's going to wake up and she's not going to know what the heck's going on. And everyone's making fun of me. And I'm like, guys, I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I am known, so my phone is typically silence, right? It vibrate. So my alarms, when I figured this out, because I didn't know this, but you know that your alarm's gonna it's gonna make noise no matter what. Like even if it's silence, it's still gonna play as loud as it was. So my alarm will wake me up it's the Guardians of the Galaxy theme. So I know that's going to get me up, and that's all well and good. But I'll tell you why my phone is silenced all day, so it only vibrates. The reason why it's like that is I used to let it have sound, and it's an iPhone and it would ding, right? I taught my mom how to text years and years ago. One of the biggest mistakes in my life. And my mom texts all day, all the time, everywhere. And so when you're with her, she's got an iPhone too. So when your phone goes off or her phone goes off, she go, did I ding, you ding? Did I ding, you ding? Did you ding? Did I ding? Who dinged? And I'm like, Ma, I can't do it. So every time my phone would go off, she would be checking her phone, and then she would yell at me to check my phone. Why aren't you checking your phone? Don't you want to see who called you? Don't you want to see? I'm like, Ma, no, it can wait. So my phone is actually silenced because I got to the point where every time my phone dinged, it made me think of my mom frantically looking at her phone, and so now it vibrates. Which, typically, when you're in the car, I get the hands-free thing, so it'll pop up if something's going on. Like when you guys got here this morning, it pops up and says we're here, and so that's all well and good. But yeah, I don't like hearing the ding anymore because of my mom's. And when my mom has a friend that texts her, and it goes da-da-da, 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 and I'm like, what is she talking? And it could have been in one thing, but it's just an ongoing. And then I have a friend, Emily. She dates my buddy JT. She's a wonderful human being. When she texts you, it is eight short messages in a row and then a pause, and then it's hit it. So yeah, but when your phone's vibrating and you're for a jog or something, you can't really tell. So I find myself checking it more because you can't always tell if it vibrated or not. But I leave it silent too. I like my peace.
I like my peace.
Yeah.
Tranquil.
But the sleeping, I think now because of the time that we're in February, if you sleep until 12, it gets dark at 4:30. So it's that feeling of you've lost all of the day, but I don't know. I think.
Well, we're up at 6:15, so the day is still there. It's just we've lost all the night.
Yeah, I think for me, it's that feeling of if you sleep in at a time such as this during winter, and then you look outside and you have a couple hours to go out and do something, and then before you know it, it's dark. But I want to go back to gaming for a second before we spin back to swimming. And the reason why I want to go back to gaming is that I don't I'm always busy. You own a company, you run around. So I'm always doing things. And when I'm not doing something, I'm thinking about stuff that I got to do. I don't play video games, but I got an Xbox One X, which is fantastic. Beautiful picture, works like a charm. I've used it 4 times. So when I got sick, I said, my dog loves when I just relax with her. So got in bed, I got a new TV. I put the big TV in the bedroom. Put the Xbox there in the bedroom so you can just sit up in bed and play. So Lily's hanging out, and I started playing, and now I'm in it again. I have Avengers. I have, what are the other ones I'm playing? I played Avengers. I played I went back to the old Walking Dead, where it's it's a game. See, I feel in a zombie apocalypse I do okay. But when you're in the video game, you're constantly amped that something's gonna come out and bite you, and do you hit the button soon enough? But everything you say in the video game, you have choices, and whatever you say, they remember it, and it affects your game because that person may not let you stay in their house and this and that. So that game to me, that was too much anxiety. I'm I'm not gonna play that. But Avengers was fun, and now I'm back living in the world of gaming. So if I could play any game right now, what would you suggest?
So you have on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
By the way, I'm really upset that Spider-Man's only on Sony. That makes me upset.
You see, that's why. Excuse me.
You're good. It's because you woke him up early, Adam.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
early
on you.
morning practice.
It's an early cough. It's an early morning. Everybody's got a little in the morning.
Yeah,
So.
No, for Xbox you have Forza.
Okay.
You ever heard of it?
No.
It's this open world car racing game.
Okay.
Really cool. Has all the It's almost like a promotion for the car companies.
Okay.
So you have like the Toyota, the Lambos, and all the cool cars on it. That's for Xbox. I don't really have an Xbox, never really gamed on it, but
What do you have, PlayStation?
I have a laptop.
Oh, you have your laptop. Oh, yeah, you said you...
Yeah, I game on a laptop. I tend to play Valorant a lot.
Okay.
It's a shooting game where like you're trying to shoot the other team and you have abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I've been not gaming that much lately because of the workload. I take so many physics courses.
Yeah.
And I have like 2 labs this semester. So it's just like either I'm up in the lab till like 10 p.m. and then doing the post lab after on Excel. Excel is hard. I don't really like it that much. Neither is Google Sheet. Like nothing is easy anymore. But yeah, no. I try to like, if I'm doing work all the time, swimming in the morning, classes, and then like all day on campus, just in the library, and then you go home, you're trying to sleep. No, you gotta have some fun, for mental wellness.
Yeah.
You gotta have some time for yourself. So I tend to just play a game or two, and then head to bed.
Yeah, no matter how late it is, when I get in bed, I have to put on something funny because comedy is a huge part of my life. And I think stand-up is in my future. There's a lot of things that I've been through, and I believe you have 2 choices when you go through something. You can make it funny, or you can let it bother you. And I choose to make it funny. And I will tell you both that in your young age, you will meet, I'm sorry to say this, you will meet crazy people. You will date crazy people. You will be friends with crazy people, and you will have stories. And if you oblige me, I'll tell them on stage one day. But I have so many that I was like, I can tour the globe for a year on just like one person that I met in passing in college. There was so much meat to the bone of that story. So, but at night, to let myself wind down, it's like I watch a stand-up comedy. Like I'll watch Kevin Hart, I'll watch Chappelle, I'll watch, Schitt's Creek, or something to just kind of make me laugh and send me to bed. So, with that being said, 2-parter for you, Caitlyn. Have you ever gamed before? And what is your sleep regimen? Do you let yourself have something fun?
I have gamed. It's not as probably intense as what you guys are doing. When I was little, I'm an only child.
Me too.
So I played a lot of Mario Kart Wii when I was little, and I would go online and race all of the different people from around the world, and I got pretty good at it. I will not lie. I'm very good at Mario Kart. That's my hidden talent for you. And I also liked a lot of Minecraft. I'm sure you know what that is. And I think the one game that I still would play is probably Minecraft. I feel like everyone has spurts with that one where for 3 weeks you can do nothing but play Minecraft. You're obsessed with it. Every waking hour is spent doing Minecraft stuff. And then you go maybe a year and a half without touching it, without thinking about it. So right now I'm in that lull period of not thinking about it, but I almost feel it creeping back up. I think once swimming's over and once I have some free time, I might regress back into my Minecraft.
All right, I like it. And then what's the right before you go to bed? We said you said a couple games. I said something funny. What do you do? What's your present to yourself?
I like TikTok. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I know that's a pretty basic answer. If I'm not watching TikToks before I go to bed, my boyfriend and I, he wants to be a geologist, so he's very into rocks and crystals. And
I thought you were going to tell me that you and him are doing TikToks together. That's what I was hoping to hear.
We do that as well.
Okay.
But,
does he dance?
Oh, no. I mean, we watch TikToks together.
Okay.
We do not make TikToks. We're not the type of people.
If you were to make a TikTok, what type of dancer... What's his name?
Brandon.
Brandon. All right. So describe Brandon as a dancer.
Not good. I don't think that man could bust a move out. I'm going to be honest.
Oh.
Sorry, Brandon. You're going to hear that one, and you're going to be sad, but it's just honest with you.
Okay, so he can't bust a move.
He cannot bust a move.
So you guys watch TikTok?
Yes, we do like watching TikToks.
What type of TikToks are you watching?
We watch a lot of odd TikToks. Some of them, we like cats. Okay. So sometimes our favorites...
So does Meatloaf, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. And we like watching videos of cats doing weird stuff.
Okay.
Weird pictures of cats is our personal favorite, like them just making weird faces. It's a broad range, honestly. We're not on the dancing side of TikTok,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
I will say, at Lemoyne a few days ago, there was two ladies that there was a game going, so there's a basketball game going on, and they had found, like right when you walk into Ted Grant Court, off to the side by the window, they had decided to shoot their TikTok there. And I saw the making of it. And it's always interesting to see the making of it because I wanted to see what it actually looked like on the other side of it. Because there's a lot of people take to the dance part of it. My cousin, he's like an older brother to me, Joey, shout out to Joe. Joey has 2 cats. He has one cat who is a beautiful, wonderful, kind soul, Marissa. He has another cat that I would only liken to if Garfield the cat had a brother that snorted cocaine daily and did LSD for like 27 years. That's Boom Boom. The cat's name is Boom Boom. Boom Boom is, it's like, he's like a house cat that's feral. He's angry all the time. And he tried to low-key Italian kill, so I'm Italian and Hispanic. He tried to murder my big brother Joey through a very Italian means. The cat went onto the stove while Joey was sleeping and turned one of the burners on and let the gas just sit there. And if Joey didn't catch it, he could have literally died in the middle of the night. So the cat is trying to, that's a mob hit. That's how you hit.
That might be someone in disguise. I don't know if that's a cat. I hate to break it to him.
But no, Boom Boom is insane. But he loves watching the TikToks of like cats just randomly hitting people.
Yep.
Because that's what Boom Boom does. So I think Boom Boom should be a TikTok. I really do. Because, you know, seeing a cat that's done just mounds of cocaine is it just, I mean, I think it's a good TikTok.
Yeah. I think it would fit right in.
Yeah, kill attempts, lots of drugs. I remember I met Boom Boom and we were going to get ice cream. It was in Joey's old place. And we went into the kitchen and, you know, like people do sometimes, we opened up the freezer. There was 2 types of ice cream and we just stared at it like it was a really tough choice. And we were like, totally fine, wide awake, sober, never been drunk in my life. We're just staring at the ice cream. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I feel this, like, this thing clamp on my ankle, and I went like that. Boom Boom decided while we were looking for ice cream to stealth hit me, put its mouth around my ankle, and bite my ankle for no apparent reason. I was standing still, and I accidentally kicked him in the head as a like jerk reaction. And to this day, I'm not sorry that I kicked Boom Boom in the head. So
that's a confession.
It is a
I
confession.
hope Boom Boom's not listening to this.
I mean, listen, he's an angry, just mad cat. But Marissa, she's such a sweetheart. So we went all over the place already. I feel like we already rapid fired this thing. So I like it. Minecraft, a little bit of games to mellow out. So you said you visualize.
Yeah.
You see the race. You see everything. You see the meet 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Do you do that? No?
My races, I do the 50 freestyle. That's kind of my big thing, and that is more so just you just gotta react. It's not so much you have to think about it. It's just, if you think too much about it, I find myself making more mistakes, and that is a race where it needs to be the perfect race. I have a love-hate relationship with the 50 freestyle. It's short. It's not quite as painful as maybe some of the other races, but it needs to be a perfect race, or else you're going to lose by a 100th of a second.
So to you, it's just quick reaction, can't think about it, go.
Yep.
You visualize it and you think about it over and over and over again. When you get to the race, when you get to the meet, do you stop? Do you shut your brain off at that point?
No. So I like to, keep swimming and make my body feel good as long as possible for warm up. So I'm warm to for the race. And right before the race, like right before I'm behind the blocks, I just shut my eyes, put my hood on, and just sit there and, think about the race. Because, unlike the 50 free, where it needs to be the perfect race, for the 200 you have a little bit of a leeway.
Yeah.
And It's a lot longer. So if you you gotta divide your energy, like I said before. So
Yeah.
but behind the blocks, it's all in. You're going all out.
Is there ever a time where you feel like swimming should have a physicality, where like you're swimming next to somebody and you just be like, just kind of just nudge them off the course? Obviously, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that here at Moyne. But have you ever had fun when you're in there and it's your friends and you're racing your friends? Do you feel like there should be a Mario Kart aspect to it, that you can bump somebody, right? Throw a banana peel or something.
So there's this thing called catching someone's wave.
Yeah.
You can't really do it with pools that have double lane lines.
Yeah.
Because they just prevent the waves from going through. But if you notice that someone is swimming closer to you, not in the middle of their lane, and it's a longer distance event, you can't really do it with a 50 free or a 100 free because it's just so fast. You can't catch someone's wave. But for more pace events, if you catch someone on the closer side to you of their lane, you can just go closer to that lane line, and if they're ahead of you, their wave can almost carry you with them.
Oh, so you can actually utilize them to help you.
That's why you always want to swim in the middle, alongside the black line.
Okay.
Not on the side, so other people don't catch your wave and kind of get a slingshot.
So I would have never thought that unless I was in the moment of it. Are there any other intricate things that people wouldn't know about swimming that you think can be an advantage? I'll start with you.
Swimming under the water is faster than over the water. Yeah, because
I believe that. I love whenever I'm in the water. I love just staying. I feel like I breathe better underwater than I do now. It's so weird. I feel like I was born in Atlantis, but I have an appreciation. Honestly, there's times where, because we go down to Florida, I'm in the pool for 3 hours, and I'll test myself and pick a really far down the line part of the pool and say, all right, you're going under the water. You can't come up once. You got to get there and whatever. And my mom will just look at me and go, you were born, this is where you were born. You were born in the water. Because I love it so deeply, and I know you guys didn't know that about me, but I have such an appreciation for what you do, because I don't know, there's something about being in the water where it feels like home. Do you feel that?
Yeah, it feels like just being underwater, weightless and horizontal.
Yeah.
Has something to it.
And to me, it's and like you said, you're faster when you're underwater. I love the stealthness of being underwater, right? If you're in a big pool, right, and you can swim fast and you can swim under, it's fun when you're out there with friends and stuff, because they don't know where you are, how fast are you coming, where you're coming from, and I feel like I could be in there all day. There's people that'll look at you and go, my hands are all pruned up and stuff, and I'm like, I've been in the pool for 5 hours and I'm fine. So, do you have a trick or two?
For sprinters especially, I know this might be a little bit of common sense, but not breathing. I think some people kind of forget that, of course, you don't breathe in swimming, but there are patterns to breathing, maybe every 3 strokes, every 5 strokes. When you get into the race, a 50 freestyle, I breathe once going down and once coming back, which is obviously not a lot of breathing, but it does make you a lot faster, because just that little motion of tilting your head, getting yourself out of the water, it breaks your kind of back, vertical type thing. I know my old coach used to kind of describe it, we want to be like a fish, and fish have straight spines, and we do not. So get yourself as straight as possible in the water, and when you turn, obviously you're breaking that straightness. So breathing as little as possible would make you faster. I know a big thing is not, let's say you're finishing a race, from the flags to that wall, you put your head down and you do not breathe. That's how you out-touch people, that's how you win races. And there's just a lot of little things maybe that most people wouldn't think about with swimming, but it's almost like common sense to swimmers themselves, of course.
How long did it take you to train yourself to only breathe twice?
From very young, I knew that I was a sprinter. My body doesn't do well in those longer races. So since I was little, I slowly stopped breathing with that. I think I really started to be aware of it in my first year here at Moyne, because that's when it really, I didn't have to swim in high school. I didn't have a team in high school, so I wasn't really tasked with having to win dual meets or anything. I was in a big conference on a club team, so I didn't win stuff. There were 200 girls in each event. So once I realized that, hey, like, there's stuff expected out of me, like, I gotta think about this. I gotta do the best I really can to do well for Moyne.
See, you learn about these things, these pieces, like you said, catching somebody's wave, breathing twice, once down, once back. It might sound totally normal to you, but there's people that probably are watching, listening right now that hyperventilated a little bit, going, what do you mean you breathe twice? And then the catching the wave part, that you can only learn by either being on the good end of it or the wrong end of it, right? You know, to know, like, oh, if I take this, I can go with this a little bit faster, or, you know, realizing somebody took yours and where you want to be positioned. So it's these little intricate pieces that really I love diving into when we do these dolphin dives to learn more about it. Why do you love swimming? Okay.
Swimming is very individualized, and I think I like that about it. It's obviously, it adds more stress, I would say, onto yourself, because you win and lose a race by yourself, you know.
Yeah.
With aside, relay teams aside, kind of putting those on the back burner, it is truly what you make of it. And I think that is exciting as someone who is a very individualistic person. Like, I rely on myself as an only child and stuff in school and everything. Like, I've held myself to a high standard. Some would call it perfectionism, but
when you're dancing on TikTok, you can't have Brandon, so you're individualistic there.
Of course. Yeah. So I think with that in mind, it just meshes well with my own personality. I don't like to say that. I guess I would say that I don't want my own success or failure to be out of my own control.
Yeah. You're self-reliant.
Yes.
Because as an only child as well, I get the whole. You just learn that you have to lean on you. You have to know that, and I think maybe we learn that easier because we don't have siblings in the house. Are you an only child? You have siblings?
No, I'm an older child.
So we all know that.
Older.
Oh, older. You said
yeah.
older child. So who's?
So
how many are there?
We're 4.
So you have 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one younger than me is a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
And then you have twins.
And you have twins.
Yep.
Identical or fraternal?
Fraternal.
Fraternal.
Yeah.
So did you learn self-reliance? Have you learned to, like, hey, I got to lean on me, or was that harder having the siblings?
No, I had to learn that because not only I had to be present for myself, I had to only be there for my siblings too.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're a role model to them. They're 11 years old, and I love them with everything I have. You come back from like a long day, and they're like there to tell you about their day at school. That teacher did give me a bad grade because I didn't answer this question and all that. But yeah, no. I love swimming because it's not others affecting you. It's you and how much effort you put in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in a world that seems so out of control, that what you can control, right, you hold on to that. Mm-hmm. So, and what I've learned in my life, and it took a long time to learn this, is all you can control is you. Literally, that's it. I can't control my dog, right? I can suggest things for her to do, but she's her own. I can't control who like if you're dating somebody, you can't control them, can't control your parents, can't control your friends, can't control a stranger. You can only control your vessel, who you are, what you do, how you think, how you act, how you feel. That's on you. And when you realize, like, you can control your feelings instead of your feelings control you, you control your thoughts instead of your thoughts control you, you control your actions. When you realize that outside influences can only control what you allow them to, life gets a lot more peaceful when you say, well, yeah, what that person did was hurtful, what they said was mean, but it's your choice to let it in. And I say this all the time. People wrap negative things in boxes just like they wrap gifts. And just because they put it on your doorstep doesn't mean you have to open it, and it doesn't mean you have to keep it. You know, people go crazy when they try to hand you some negativity, and you go, no, you keep it, and you give their gift back to them, and they go, well, I don't want this. Well, then why are you trying to give it to somebody? So I think life becomes a lot more simple, better, and more fruitful and peaceful when you realize it's not what people say and do, it's what you allow to affect you. Because people are going to say and do things all the time. It's how we react to it that determines how we feel and how we think and how much time we waste.
Right, and you see, the best thing about swimming is, yes, you can control your part for the most part. It's an individual sport, but you also get a hint of teamwork.
Yeah.
Because other people who are in the water at 6:15 in the morning are also people who want to do good.
Yeah.
So when you get in a relay, you get that kind of like good part of teamwork. It's not really all negative, even though there are some negative parts that come out of it.
Yeah.
It's not all negative, and that's the best thing about it. You get a good of like the good part of individual work and teamwork.
Do you, and I'll start with you, Belal, on this, do you feel that with the sport being so individualistic, at Moyne, do you feel that team, that bonding, is there that overall unit that as much as it's on you with what you're doing, have you felt like this has become a family?
Yes. We do a lot of team bonding activities, and we hold each other accountable for serious stuff to kind of like get each other in the work mode, you can call it. We just kind of like talk to each other about it. We hype each other up before like races and stuff. There's one thing I like to call it. It originated from Johanna.
Okay.
It's raw animal speed. That we just yell that out loud. Other teams have adopted it. Actually, I know Vassar. We're next to us at Ethica, and I have a friend that goes there.
Yeah.
He called me back home and he's like, what does raw animal speed mean? We've been saying it in my team now. And it's just funny, but I love how it went from Johanna saying it one time at practice to like every fast meet now to like other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now other people are stealing from Johanna. I want royalty money for Johanna.
Yeah, justice for Joe.
Justice for Joe.
Get that going on Twitter.
Yeah. I want a band Justice for Joe. I want raw animal speed on my wrist as well. So I love that. Do you feel, Caitlyn, as well, that as much as there's an individualistic piece to swimming, that this has become a family?
For sure. I think we're very lucky at Moyne to have such a unified team, not just on the women's side, but the men's and the women's teams are very much interconnected with each other. You know, I was saying earlier how on paper we are men's and women's swimming, but in reality I would consider us just the Moyne swim and dive team. You know, I don't think that anyone would consider us to be two different teams. We're all friends. You know, I personally train with as many boys as I do girls, and just this morning I went 5:45, and one of my good friends who happens to be on the men's side came with me and swam with me. So I think with the team bonding, you know, Adam set up a really nice kind of retreat for us up at Oswegatchie. It's in the Adirondacks. We had no cell phones and just kind of each other to...
No TikTok cat
No
videos.
TikTok, no. We had no texting, no cell phones, no nothing. And it really helped us connect, you know. Belal brought a lot of games, and all night, I remember one night, I think we played a game for 5 hours, just going all different types of card games, board games, charades, like stuff like that.
What was your favorite that you brought?
There's this one game available on Amazon called Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler?
Yes. Do you know Among Us?
Do I know what?
Among Us.
No.
That one game that went viral. So basically, Among Us goes like you're on a spaceship trying to work as a team.
Okay.
There's an imposter that's trying to kill everyone.
Okay.
It's almost the same concept. Hitler is trying to kill everyone.
Secret Hitler.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the people don't know. who's Hitler is. And
So this game, so play it out for me. So if you've never played before,
Yep.
okay, let's say, so about how many people did you have on the retreat total?
40,
Okay.
I'd say.
So you got 40 people. So if you're describing the game, I'm on your team. I've never played Secret Hitler before. Describe it to me.
So
I
basically,
like games like
yeah.
this. That's why.
No, it's an awesome board game. You should definitely get it.
Okay.
One of our team members also brought it too because it's amazing. You get envelopes, right? And in each envelope there are a couple of cards. You have the yes and no vote ballots.
Okay.
You have your roll and your another roll card.
Okay.
In those roll cards, you get either liberal or fascist.
Okay.
Right? Liberals are just liberals. Fascists can be either Hitler or just regular fascists.
Okay.
In a game of 10, we'd close our eyes, and only the fascists would open their eyes. They would know who everyone else is.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And Hitler wouldn't know who's on his team. He would only do a thumbs up so others can see him. The fascists that are trying to support him can see him. But basically, this is how the setup goes. And you get turns for president.
Okay.
And you're trying to pass these policies to like reach on the end of the board, like six policies for fascists or 5 for liberals.
Yeah.
And there are a lot more liberals in the game.
Yeah.
But policies in the policy pile, there are a lot more fascist policies.
Okay.
So as a liberal, I could play a fascist policy just because I drew a fascist policy. Now people are going to think I'm a fascist, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's a game of like speculating and like bluffing and stuff. You could
Yeah.
lie for the other team and all that.
That sounds, it's awesome, and it would give me some jitters, right? Everybody close their eyes, you open them up, and Hitler's like, I'm like, what? So that's crazy. That's and the Among Us that being in the spaceship. See, games like that I like, and I've never gotten to do any of those like mystery ones where you go out to like a mansion somewhere and you gotta figure out like who killed who, or like who's the killer in the room and this that. I love those role playing, but I've never gotten to really do those. Being an only child, my friends are all over the country, and like my close friends. So there's a bunch of people here, but it's like that's a game I would want to bring in. See, because I have that mind. I have like Kevin Hart and I think a lot alike. I realize it is comedy, and he's shorter than me. Yes, but but him and I have a lot of. And I thought to myself, if I did something like that, I want all my guys in Vegas playing Secret Hitler around Vegas, in and out of the casino, and nobody knows what we're doing. I want that. Like, that's what I want. I want to make it, like, I want to amp it up, right? I want to raise the stakes. But I will tell you this, if you'll have me, totally up to you, I'm not going to invite myself. If you guys ever play one of those again, and you let me know ahead of time, I'd be game for that.
You should come to any tens. I have it in the bag already.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Just casually drive over there. So if you want to join us on the bus, we're leaving at 2:45.
Secret Hitler, I love it. No, but it's stuff like that I think is so cool, and it would help me get to know the team better, Yeah. So I think it's great that you had. Did you enjoy playing it?
It was so much fun. I would like to think that I was great at lying and bluffing on the game, so
Did you think you were good at it?
I think I was, whenever I was, let's say on the fascist side or something,
Yeah.
people would never know that I was the bad guy.
Okay.
That is true.
So nobody ever knew?
Yeah, no, she would pull off a liberal so well.
Were you ever Hitler?
I was once, but I think I did get found out that time, I'm gonna be honest.
You did get found out for being Hitler? Okay.
But it was so much fun, honestly. That trip, because of that game, I think that game made the trip for me.
Really?
Like, it was, you got to see sides of people that maybe you weren't able to see before. In a team so large, you don't know everyone like the back of your hand. Of course, you're going to have your close friends, but that game kind of let me see, like, oh, so-and-so is kind of good at bluffing, or so-and-so cannot bluff for anything. Like,
Hey, you look at somebody like, you can lie about everything. So when I said to go to dinner last week and you didn't come, were you lying about that?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but so who was the best Hitler?
Probably Charlie.
Charlie, there's one boy on our team, Charlie. He and I often somehow ended up on the same team a lot of times, either fascist or liberal, and Charlie and I worked pretty well together, and he's just a very loud, extroverted character.
Okay.
So you never really knew what side he was on because he acted the same way no matter what side he was on. You know, some people quiet down, some people get more loud. Charlie was Charlie the whole time.
Yeah.
And it worked in his favor.
It sounds like, I don't know if either of you have watched this before, Big Brother.
No.
So I never knew what Big Brother was. I never understood it. It made no sense to me. It's on CBS. And it comes out, typically there's one in the summer for like celebrity, and then there's one in October for just, you know, people that go out and audition. I went out for it, and I was dating somebody at the time, and I think she shot the video, and then we stopped dating. So like the whole dynamic changed, because if I was in the house, there's different things. Like, I don't flirt if I'm dating, right? That's not me. But when you're single, especially in this game, and you could flirt, like that was a good thing. So I did the thing 3 months. I heard nothing. I had sent the video out. And in my head, and this happens to me all the time, I said, you know, I feel like, I wonder if they should be saying something. By now, I would think they're going to say something. Within 3 days of me saying that, I got an email. It said, hey, we're having an event in New York City. We're only inviting some people that we really like their video. Come out to New York City. I fly out to New York City, 16th in line, and they split us into groups. You have no idea who you're going to be with. And you go in groups of 5 people, and there's different like producers and people that work on Big Brother, and they just ask questions. Everybody got one question. Then they would come back to people, which I was hoping that was like people that they liked. So they asked me 3, they asked this other guy 3. This one girl, her question that she answered was, to me, was awful in a game like that. They said to her, they said, what's your kind of plan if you got on Big Brother? She's like, oh, I would have a showmance. I'd like be in bed with some guy because I'm not good at doing anything, and I would just need him to protect me the whole time. And I looked at her and I was like, I feel like I dated people like you, but that's a dumb plan. So I'm talking, and the girl was asking me questions. Now I'm a broadcaster. In my head, I'm thinking, I have to lie and not say I'm a broadcaster, because as a broadcaster, you speak for a living. If you speak well and you get people to believe you and tell you things, that's really good for the game. So I'd want to tell people like I'm a teacher, you know, whatever. So where it's like I do interact with people, but you wouldn't think that. So the guy next to me is like in his 40s, short guy. He had asked me and this kid that didn't know each other, we kind of befriended each other. We're sitting at a table, guys behind us. He goes, hey, where are you guys from? And I looked at the one guy, and being polite, I deferred, and I said, oh, you go first. So he told him where he was from. Then they shouted out and called our group. So I didn't get to answer where I was from. I read people. I felt like this guy's going to be pissed. He's going to think something of the fact that I didn't, introduce myself. So we go upstairs. He's in my group of 5. Long story short, they said to him, if you had to get someone voted out of the house, and this was the house, who would you vote out? Who would you want to scheme against? And he turns, I'm right here, you and me. He looks at me and he goes, well, probably this guy. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what did I do? He goes, this guy downstairs, I asked him where he was from. He didn't even say hello to me. He didn't tell me where he was from. I don't really like him. And they said, well, who would you go after? I said, well, I think it's a strategic game. And I go after this dude, not because it's personal, but because he's good at talking, and I could tell that he could get people to interact with him. Because that's what Big Brother is. It's about working with people. There are games, and there's like things to win. But if you're good at speaking to people and good at getting people to trust you, there's a lot to that. But the side I wouldn't have liked if I was on the show is when people lie to you and they backstab you, and you have to feel that, and you're locked in a house for 3 months. You can't leave. You're on a lot in California, and they make a house on this like movie lot or whatever it is, and you cannot leave, and you're filmed for 24 hours straight. So you're not filmed in the shower or the bathroom. Everywhere else you're filmed. And so, like, if you and I were having a conversation trying to get Caitlyn out of the house, like, everyone in the world is watching us be jerks. And, like, you have to watch that, you know? And then, like, so I'd be talking to you, like, all right, what do you want to get out? You're like, and, like, I'm the head of the house for that time. And you're like, all right, I want to get Caitlyn out. I'm like, all right, let's work on this. And then I go over to Caitlyn and I go, you know what, I'm thinking about getting Belal out of the house. Like, and then if you guys talk to each other, I'm, like, dead in the water. So it's a game of trickery. But at the end of this game, it's like $500,000 that you can win.
A bit higher stakes.
Yeah.
Than our game.
So does Coach get involved?
With Secret Hitler?
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
He did?
He didn't. I don't think he played well. I don't think he knew.
You looked
how
at
to
her
play.
like you tell the story.
He just said his favorite color is red.
Yeah,
And he was on the blue team.
The one game that I remember him playing, he was on the liberal team, and he played a red card. And we're like, Adam, why'd you play the red card? And he's like, I don't know, I just like red. And we're like, well, that's not suspicious at all. And he wasn't even on the fascist side.
Yeah. So.
You know, I don't know if there was much going on with that one.
It's chaos. It's a lot of chaos in this game.
Yeah, no, but I would love to play the game. We're going to take a step aside. We're going to play a game after this. It's called Rapid Fire. We're going to put each other on the hot seat, and we're going to do a round robin thing. So we'll go this way, and we'll go back this way. Everybody will get to ask each other a question. I have no idea what Belal and Caitlyn are going to say, and they have no idea what I'm going to come up with. Don't worry, it's only live video and audio to the entire world, and we have to answer it. We'll be back right after this from Cafe Kubal.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
I'm corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also, I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop CafeKubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Woody Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Woody Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. They can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back here inside of Cafe Kubal. We're on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. I am here with a Dolphin Dive Takeover in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Moyne Dolphins. We are here today to feature and showcase Moyne swimming and diving. Moyne men's and women's swimming and diving is the technical term, but as Caitlyn said, this is just one big team, and that's how Adam Zakowski, the head coach, treats it, and that's how I've always known it to be. Belal Aly, Caitlyn Longway, Dan Tortora, hanging out with you inside of Cafe Kubal. It's now time for us to play rapid fire. There is no buzzer, there's no lifeline, there's no I don't want to answer that question. So we're going to go this way, we're going to go back. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So Caitlyn, you get to ask me the first question.
Okay, what is your favorite sport?
Man, I've gotten to know so many over the years. So many. Things that I never thought that I would know, like, you know, with lacrosse, bowling, crew, you know, you get to volleyball. I got to learn about a lot of sports that, you know, I didn't really grow up around. Always been in the pool, but I played basketball my whole life. So I'd probably say one of the few things, I would say there's 4 things I can shut my brain off to, and that's cooking, cleaning, listening to music or singing, and playing basketball. So I would say basketball. I played it most of my life, and I was shooting after the game last night inside a 10-grad court. I was shooting after the game. So yeah, I would definitely say probably basketball, because I never swam for a team, but it's something that I love and I could probably do all day. So I would say a typical trip down to Florida, no matter how hot it is, I play basketball and I swim. So that would be my answer. All right, I get to ask Belal a question now. If you could jump into the fictional world of any video game, what character would you be and what world would you jump into?
I'd be Kirby.
Okay.
You know,
yeah,
because you can just adapt and just suck people in and just you know throw them out as stars. But Kirby, you know, get abilities. It's not just one ability. What world would I be in? I've always wanted to be inside the Wii characterization for the your character thing, the me thing.
Okay.
You know the big hall that where you start running and sprinting laps.
Okay, so
I'd
you want to
love
be in
to
there.
like run a marathon with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As Kirby.
As Kirby.
All right, I like it. One for Caitlyn from you.
So you with all your injuries, how was it like to maintain, you know, good vibes and positivity to keep swimming?
I'm gonna be honest, it was pretty tough, especially with COVID being thrown in the middle of it. You know, I tore my Achilles tendon, then immediately got into the COVID quarantine era, was kind of all alone, couldn't walk, you know. It's pretty just still, and I think the biggest thing for me to keep me pushing through was to just think of what my goals always have been and maybe modify them for my new self, but keep looking at the goals that I had. You know, I'm someone that likes to reach my goals, and I'm not happy until I do. So, you know, I think just putting my head down and realizing that there might be some more work than most that have to get put into, like, these things that I'm doing. It's not as simple as just going and swimming anymore. It's more injury stuff, but you know, I'm still here, I'm still swimming, and I'm lucky enough to be competing this weekend. So
yeah,
I'd say that was my biggest goal, was to get through 4 years.
You're resilient. Do you feel like you're back now?
I would say, I don't think I'm 100%. I don't know if I ever will be, but I got to where I'm the best I can be for the hand that I was given. I have done the best I could have. So I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy that I've had the support that I have had to get to this point.
I think we need to tap that up. I think it's give her some love for that. All right, Caitlyn, back to Belal.
Belal, let's see. What? If you had to go to, like, if you had to eat something right now from this cafe, what would you want them to whip up for you?
I honestly don't even know what they serve here.
There's chocolate chip banana bread. Their cookies and all that are awesome. They have sandwiches. They have breakfast sandwiches like eggs and bacon and stuff. So.
I'll take a chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
nice
really
classic.
good. They're really good.
Yeah.
I guess I'll make it into a two-parter.
Okay.
So what is your like fuel before the meet? Like what are you going to be eating this weekend?
Well, before the meat, definitely not a chocolate chip cookie, but it would probably be just light stuff, nothing too crazy like, heavy pizzas before the races and all that. You're just trying to keep it light, trying to keep yourself not hungry, but also not like full, you're about to fall asleep. Yeah.
So what is it? Is that like energy bar? Like what is it? What does it turn into?
Yeah, so if it's right before the race, it's probably like something sweet.
Okay.
Like an energy bar or something like that, Gatorade or whatever. But if it's like, I don't know, the night before and I have a race in the morning, I would eat like a sub or something.
Okay.
Yeah, but the amount is what varies.
What about after, like when you're done with the race?
Oh, it's a
what
feast.
What are you pigging out on?
It's a feast.
If you could pick anything, what's like post race? This is not part of rapid fire. It's just my asking because I want to know your statement too. So race ends, and you can eat whatever you want. What are you eating?
Whatever Miss Kellogg gives us. She's the person who's responsible for the foods and all that, and I'm very thankful for all that. But if I were to pick, it would probably be a flying squirrel.
Flying squirrel?
She knows what a flying squirrel is. She's an expert.
It's infamous on the swim team.
What is it?
Whenever we go to Ithaca, I believe it's Ithaca, right?
Yep.
There was like a restaurant that we always went to, and the thing on their menu, it was called the Flying Squirrel Sandwich. And what was it? Like ribs?
It was
chicken?
Chicken, some sort of beef, and like the sauce and everything. It would just melt in your mouth, and it was so good. Such a great treat after a meet. Amazing.
Flying squirrel.
Yeah.
What would you eat?
I'm gonna be honest, not the flying squirrel.
Okay.
I never did indulge in a flying squirrel.
No way.
Okay.
I'd go for something savory, maybe a good pasta, a good chicken riggy. I don't know if you know what chicken riggies are. We're not too far from Utica, so.
Yeah, I'm Italian. I know it. There's some good ones here. There's also I realize this, and this is to no offense to anybody. This is just a true statement from my experience. Those that have won awards for chicken riggies are awful. And those that have won nothing are fantastic. Chicken riggies is not vodka sauce. You don't just put vodka sauce. You gotta make it hot. There's different levels of heat. And the chicken cannot be frozen chicken strips that you heated up from Walmart and put on top of the chicken. It's gotta be real deal stuff. And Utica Pizza Company, that's in North Syracuse, they make really good chicken riggies, and they're from Utica.
Yep.
So.
Actually, my roommate last year, her name is Anastasia, and I'm pretty sure that's her family.
Oh yeah.
That owns
It is,
Utica.
yeah.
So
her dad's Phil Russo.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah.
Shout out to Anastasia.
Yeah, shout out to Anastasia.
Yeah. So Utica greens too.
Yeah, I love a good green. I also really love a good sweet treat.
Okay.
You know, pastries, cakes, ice cream.
Do you have a favorite pastry?
I'd say I like cakes, maybe like a chocolate cake, chocolate
cake.
frosting.
I always do the show just so hungry because I don't usually eat before the show, and I ask this like I'm some person that likes to be in pain. I'm just talk about food because I'm so hungry right now. But that's great. By the way, best bakery in the world in my opinion, Lincourt Bakery. It's in Syracuse, on right off of Teal Avenue.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You have to go because they have Kigley's. Nobody knows what those are. Half Moons, which they call black and whites down in New York City. But if you leave this, not even the state of New York, but if you leave Syracuse, I didn't even know this. People don't know headlights, taillights, Kigley's. We have, and it's the only place that I know that has a coconut donut the way that they do it. I didn't know growing up that I was not only getting the best donuts, but I was getting donuts that the world doesn't know about. The Kigley, if you go 40 minutes outside of Syracuse, people think you're nuts. They have no idea what you're talking about. So you got to get one of those. Belal, you get to ask me a question.
I get to ask you a question.
I'm so hungry right now.
Let's see.
I want the flying squirrel. I actually do want to try that.
No, you should definitely have.
It's in Ithaca?
It's in Ithaca. Yes, it's not too far. If you were to talk to someone who's big in the sports, like a pro athlete. Right now, who would it be?
So I picked somebody that I haven't interviewed yet.
Yeah. Well, who have you interviewed? I don't know.
There's over 3,000 people, so I would say I'm gonna pick somebody I haven't talked to yet.
Okay.
So I would probably sit down with Fred Taylor. Fred is my favorite running back of all time in the NFL. I'm a Jaguars fan, and he played on the Jaguars in 28. He actually has a podcast too. I would love to interview Fred. So, I feel like that would really mean a lot to the kid in me.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do that. Probably Fred. All right, Caitlin, I get the final one. We talked about food. All right, are you a movie person? What is going on in my life these days? Let me say something. I don't know if it's epidemic or what's going on in today's culture, but I've talked to a lot of people recently who don't really watch movies. The overwhelming majority of them are women. I don't know why. What has happened to culture that young women don't like a good movie? You just don't have time? You don't care?
You know, me personally, I think I like a good scary movie.
So you like scary movies?
I guess I did. I still don't watch them that often though.
Okay.
But I don't think I have time for movies is my big thing. I can't fathom sitting down for 2 hours maybe, not this interview, this aside, and just doing nothing. Like pretty much just sitting down
You
by
can
myself.
tell me if she said that because she was next to me when she said that. So, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's good. It was nice to put that in there. I can't fathom sitting for 2 hours, except
Not
for
this interview.
For this interview. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to music. We'll go to music. No music. Okay. What are your hobbies? In order for me to ask this question correctly, what do you do besides swimming?
I go rock mining with my boyfriend.
Rock mining with Brandon.
Yes, Brandon and I love a good crystal mining.
Okay. So I gotta meet Brandon now.
He's a cool guy, I'm gonna be
I
honest.
can't picture him. Paint the picture of Brandon for me.
He's like 6'3".
I thought he would be tall. Okay, so I got that right.
He's got blue eyes, brown hair.
6'3", blue eyes, brown hair. Okay.
He's chill. He's cool, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess maybe he has a physique of a basketball player.
Okay.
He's a lankier guy.
Lanky guy, 6'3", lanky Brandon. So you and Brandon go out rock mining. Pick a place you've never been to that you guys would love to go vacation and rock mine.
There is actually a place that we've been talking about. It's out west. I want to say it's in Utah. It's like a salt lake, and once a year it dries up, and it forms these hail-like crystals from the salt in the lake, and they're tinted pink, and their structure is kind of like a bunch of squares almost. I don't know the proper scientific names for it. But you go, and a bunch of people will just go on this lake bed when it dries up and just pick up these huge crystals, and they go for crazy amounts of money on
But
the
you
market.
could just go take them?
Well, I'm pretty sure you have to pay to like get in, but I don't quote me on how much it is. But I mean,
They can pay. You and I will sneak in.
yeah, we'll get a whole group going.
We'll play Secret Hitler and we'll get it. But
yeah.
So that's crazy. That sounds really awesome. So I got to ask this. So how did you find somebody? Because rock, that's a very unique thing that you like to do. So how did y'all find each other and realize you had this stuff in common?
He actually is kind of like I don't know, like he lived with all swimmers. He was very with the swim team, so that's how I met him, because he was always at the meets supporting his own friends.
Yeah.
And then I would see him at parties, like swim-only parties and stuff. And he was just kind of an honorary swim team member.
Yeah.
And we had a lot in common, from liking Minecraft, liking Animal Crossing.
You just start talking, and then he goes, "You know what I really want to do on a Saturday? I want to go rock
hit some
mine."
rocks.
Yeah. And then you're like, "Wait a minute,
That's
what
cool.
I like to
That
do."
is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this past summer I had to get stitches in my leg because I was breaking open a rock with a sledgehammer, and a shard of it flew off. It cut my leg open. Within like 5 seconds, my whole sock was red. And
We're gonna put you in a bubble.
Yeah.
We need to protect you.
That's what Adam says as well.
Yeah, we're gonna protect you. So, have you ever had an experience in dating like that, where you just had crazy stuff in common that you're like, what? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, so my current relationship actually.
Okay.
We're both physics majors.
Can we say the name or no? You don't want to say
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, her name is Eliza.
Eliza?
Yeah,
okay.
she's half German. She's bilingual, and I'm also bilingual. So that's, you know.
And so what language?
I speak Arabic.
Oh, you speak Arabic, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So you speak now fluently?
Yeah, I was born and raised over there.
So you like, oh yeah. So
Yeah.
see, in my head, I'm thinking as a kid, how much did you learn before you grew up? But you were there for a long time.
Yeah, I lived there for 14 years, 5 years here.
So that's great. You're gonna have to teach me. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have you say something at the end of the show.
Okay.
But I've never. So I know how to. So I know some Portuguese, some Italian, and I can speak Spanish.
Oh, nice.
But Arabic is like, to me, that's just so crazy, like
Arabic is
awesome.
hard.
And it's beautifully like written too. So, okay, so she's bilingual.
Yeah, she's bilingual. We're both physics majors.
Yeah.
You know, no one really gets the nerdy memes and jokes from the swim team. Most of them are business majors.
Yeah.
And I make fun of them for being business majors.
Okay.
But it's just, you know, someone that I can relate to who has the same interests, and I really like that. Yeah.
So her being bilingual, you being bilingual, have you taught each other like the languages you don't know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah,
have you learned German?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, so like I can say like my name is blank, and then you know the simple stuff like just to introduce yourself.
So tell me something in German.
Damn, putting me on the spot.
Do you know any
what
other
is it?
languages? Okay.
There's I love you in German is ich liebe dich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one I say the most, but like I can't really think of much else.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So she'll teach. If she's watching right now, she's gonna be like, I taught you like 12 different things to say.
She gave me a keychain that says, "We'll always be here" or something along those lines in German.
Okay.
And at some point, I forgot what that meant, but I was still carrying it around. But yeah, you know, stuff like that happened. But I'm also learning Japanese at Moyne.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like so many languages coming together. Yeah. It makes you forget.
And it's cool. And it's really beautiful that you'll learn that some languages, like Romance languages, that when you know like I know Spanish, but I've never learned Italian, but there are these like there's a dance back and forth with them. And then in Portuguese, the money's the same as when you're speaking Spanish, but then things are totally different. Like you say money back the same way, but then if you said ice cream in Portuguese, it's ceviche. And if you say it in Spanish, it's helado. So it's like not even close. Yeah. But it's so cool to learn that. I'm going to tell you something I learned in Portuguese. Okay? You guys got to remember this. Now you can say you speak two languages.
Perfect.
So I said to my friends, because when I worked at Disney and at Epcot, I said to my friends from Brazil, I said to the girls, I said, give me something that sounds romantic. Like that sounds like I love you, but it's not. And I said, just so I can like kind of joke around and have fun. So I said, give me something that's going to sound really, really beautiful. So you have a candlelit dinner, right? You got your significant other across from you, and you look right at them and you take their hands, dimly lit, candles there, and you say, geladeira.
Say it again?
Geladeira. It sounds like I love you. It's so sweet, especially how you say it. It means refrigerator.
Yeah, romantic. It really sets the mood.
But if they don't know,
yeah,
geladeira. So it's a beautiful, beautiful word. So I would like to end this thanking not only Caitlyn Longway and Belal Aly and all of you, and of course Adam Zakowski for helping me to set this up, and Lemoyne for being an incredible exclusive multimedia marketing partner. And we love everything at Lemoyne on the Heights and with the Dolphins, and we wish you and pray for you the best in the NE10. God be with you. I want to end the show with you saying thanks for listening to Wake Up Call in Arabic.
Thanks for listening to Wake Up Call.
Yeah.
شكرا على مشاهدة Wake Up Call بالعربي. Yeah.
That's how you say it?
Yep. That's
awesome.
how you say it.
Good stuff. Well, I hope you all.
That's great.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for tuning in, watching, and listening on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. Make sure you connect with us every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all / WakeUpCallDT, as well as WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and on Facebook.com / LiveNowDT. Once the shows go live, you can catch us all throughout your favorite platforms: Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. You can also ask Alexa and your Google Home devices to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they'll do that for you as well. A big shout out to our incredible partners: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, Avicoli's, PB&J's Lunchbox, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Watertown, Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, 317 at Montgomery. The name of the restaurant is the name of the location. For an elegant experience, go to 317 Montgomery Street in downtown Syracuse. Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Chick-fil-A Clay, Pizza Man, and we are very proud once again to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins and your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. For more information on the Dolphins, you can check out our Lemoyne tab on WakeUpCallDT.com. Bryan and Stratton tab on WakeUpCallDT.com is BSC Syracuse, and you can subscribe for all content, including this broadcast, on YouTube.com / WakeUpCallDT. We are on our social media: Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram